right, good morning, lacrosse community. I'm Ryan Berns, the president of Lacrosse Leadership Institute. It's our mission to empower the youth and anyone who loves lacrosse to be successful. Use all the skills that you gain from lacrosse to impact your life and live the life you want to live. I'm so excited for our conversation today with Nate Snyder. He's been a buddy of ours for a while now. Came out to Arizona. He's part of ASU lacrosse community, Arizona lacrosse community, USA lacrosse. So there's a lot of things that I want to ask you, Nate, today, but we'll start by just asking you to share a little bit more about yourself. How did you get involved in lacrosse in the first place?
So yeah, for me, I mean, growing up in the Northeast, lacrosse is kind of a way of life, especially the small town that I'm in. Right? We were a really, really small town in upstate New York, but lacrosse was just ingrained in the community. So from an early age, we always had sticks in our hands, and so I really got to learn the love of the game. Through the people that were ahead of me in school, I had great coaches, and just we have a great history in the game, and just fell in love with it instantly.
Awesome. And Nate, do you have a Pinnacle lacrosse moment throughout your life?
I mean, there's so many great memories, whether it be from friends or championships. I'm in high school, I was a part of the first team to win a state championship for Section 5, which is our area in upstate New York. So that was huge. But then going on into the professional ranks, I've been lucky enough to be a part of 5, world championship teams. And then I'd say, being selected to be the assistant manager for the U.S. men's national team, I think it's probably been the pinnacle. We've had a few events so far, and then really looking forward to when we actually get to compete in the World Games, and hoping that we add one of those championships to the rack here.
That's so cool. So you've won, it sounds like a lot of championships. You've gotten to, I think, is like the pinnacle of lacrosse, the international space. How did you find yourself getting there, and what does that look like as well, in terms of what the level play is or who's involved?
Yeah, so I mean, really, I've been involved with U.S. lacrosse for, I don't even know, maybe 15, 20 years, in various different roles, from presidents of chapters to actually working at national for a while. And so I've always kind of stayed involved with that, helping to grow the game, hosting coach education events, all those type of things. And so, really with this, it's an application that I had put in to become the assistant general manager, and I was selected, fortunately. It was a pretty big surprise. I mean, I still remember the day I got the call, and I mean, I was on cloud 9 because, as you said, this is the pinnacle to go out and represent your country. As far as the level of play, it's unreal. The few events that we've had, the things I've taken away from what I've learned, from the game, from other individuals, and just watching the way these guys compete and see things, it's just been great. And then, the opportunity to be around, some of the best coaches in the world, that's just, you can't compare to what you can pull from that knowledge. And so really it's been great getting an opportunity to talk and work with both the players and the staff to support them and what they need to go on and be successful once we get to the World Games.
That's so cool. And do you have a highlight or an example of some of the takeaways that you have from these coaches or these world-class individuals?
I think some of it is the ability just to stay calm under, immense pressure. So, obviously the U.S. national team, has, a lot of expectations for its success. And we were at an event down in San Antonio, and we were playing against the Japanese national team, and they got up on us early. And, some people that I had talked to after the game said, man, really didn't expect that, and really worried how crazy and anxious and nuts was everyone going. And it was amazing watching our coaching staff and the players just stay completely calm, talk through things, and work through that adversity. It was really something neat to watch, because I think that there's, a lot of teams when you get that snowball effect. When something bad happens, it can really continue to grow, and then it gets to an unmanageable point. I never saw that with the coaching staff and the players. They always just stay calm. They'd come off the field, they talk about what happened, how we're going to fix this, and then they go out and fix it. So I think that was just such an incredible lesson to learn of keeping your composure, even in times that are really difficult.
I think that's such a neat point as well, and it really brings up to me just the leadership aspect of it. It's so important to be able to stay cool, collected, have that long-term goal in mind, and when things start deviating, how do you rectify and get back on track? Absolutely. What does leadership mean to you, Nate?
I think leadership is something that, you have to create an environment where people want to be led and be a part of something. It's not, standing up and, demanding orders out. It's really being immense with that group and being a part of something. You can, bark out orders all you want. And, in some degree, people might do those things, but they're not going to be compelled to, continue moving forward in that direction for too long, I don't think. So I think it's important that you share the mission, show people that you appreciate them for the work that they're doing. And I think when someone feels appreciated, the amount of work that they will do, it just far surmounts what will happen if they're just being ordered to do something. So I think you really have to immerse yourself in creating that culture where people are fighting towards that goal together.
I think that's something that I continue to see in these conversations. It's that idea of servant leadership. So you have people that have a mission, and then there's a leader who's there to empower that group to accomplish whatever goals that have been set. And that's pretty neat that you're recognizing that as well. How do you help the national team right now? What are some of your tasks, or what is your guys' mission, and how do you get to that goal?
I mean, right now, obviously, is a little unique with the whole COVID situation. We had all of our events obviously postponed this year. So in the couple events that I was there, really, like I said, mine is the support role, and it's really trying to help them with whatever they need to try to take care of any of those off the field issues that need to be taken care of, so they can just focus on competing, coaching, whatever that may be. So everything from travel to getting out their uniforms and their gear, make sure meals are set. We've got balls out there for shoot around, cleaning things up. Really, whatever it takes. I think that's one of the other unique things with that group is that I didn't see too much, pride where they're like, well, that's not my job. Everyone worked together, and it didn't matter what that task was. We knew that it was for the betterment of what we were trying to do. So that was a pretty cool thing to see as well.
And it sounds like everyone just really bleeds red, white, and blue, and that allows you to have that mission. How did you first get involved with U.S. Lacrosse? I know you said you've been involved for 15, 20 years. What was that first thing that you did?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I knew about U.S. Lacrosse, from being a member, when I was, young one playing. But when I took my first role working for the Rochester Nighthawks, the professional indoor team, I connected in with the local chapter and really got an opportunity to kind of work with their board, see what they're about, see how I could support it. And really one of the biggest things we did was there was a local individual here in upstate New York that really was a founding member of lacrosse in the area, and he unfortunately had passed away, and we were able to get the All-Star game named after him. So that was really one of the biggest events that I kind of had part of working with the chapter. And once I saw kind of how that brought together in that meeting, it really I felt compelled to keep pushing that mission and getting deeper and deeper involved with U.S. Lacrosse. So, and really just believing in a lot of the stuff that they try to do. Whether it's trying to grow the game through developing coaches and safe sport and all those different things that they're working on. I think it's just incredibly important to help grow our game responsibly.
I think being responsible in terms of growth, it allows it to be sustainable, continue to go, so there's not going to be the burnout as well. I can imagine getting young, new members as well into the ranks is a big part of that. How do you go about growing the game right now, Nate, or how should we go about growing the game?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we're moving out to Arizona, really getting an opportunity to kind of learn the landscape, connecting with the individuals and trying to understand kind of where the game has been, where they're, looking to take it. So I've been involved with a number of different groups, whether it's the different leagues, youth league, high school league, coaching, running some box programs, and just working with other individuals. And the other thing is, I think, is just supporting opportunities. There's obviously a variety, even in Arizona, there's a variety of different club programs and all these other opportunities that are out there. And I've heard some people complain about there's too many options, and I said, look, if people are out and they're learning the game, they're having fun with the game, that's all that matters. Like I said, I've run a program, and there was another competitor, if you will, that was running a similar program, and a kid who plays for the high school team that I coach apologized to me because he was playing for that program. And all I asked was, I was like, are you learning something or are you having fun? And he said yes to both. I said, awesome. You never have to apologize to me for going to play lacrosse. So I think it's just supporting that overall growth that, hey, look, if you got a stick in your hand, it's a lot better than video games in your hand. So just keep playing it as long as you're having fun with it.
I absolutely love hearing that. And actually, it just sparks. I got a letter from US Lacrosse today because of a donation that I made for the Giving Day. And I just want to do a plug for this. I donated $50. That gets 5,000 kids with the First Stick program. Unbelievable opportunity to give sticks out there. Have you been involved in those give stick, play lax opportunities, Nate? Or what are some of the different ways that you've brought lacrosse to people who've never played in the first place?
Yeah, so I've helped a number of groups here in Arizona apply for the First Stick grants and tried to really help kind of move those conversations along. Luckily, we have some great support from our regional representatives from US Lacrosse that have really worked to get those sticks in the hands of local players. I've also worked heavily with some of the local schools, especially the elementary schools, going in and teaching at their phys ed classes. I actually worked with Chris Turpin, who's the former AYL director. We went up to Deer Valley, and actually on one of the recess days, they brought in all their phys ed teachers, and we actually put them through a training and taught them about lacrosse, put sticks in their hands, and said, hey, look, if you're interested in teaching this in your class, we'd love to be help with that. So went back up later on and did 2 full days at an elementary school to make sure that every kid that walked through had a stick in their hand, and then provided them follow-up information of, hey, here's your local youth program, here's who to contact, go see them if you want to keep playing. And it's been really, really well received. I know a number of kids that I saw at practices after those days, and they remembered me, and we were chatting about how they came out and tried it. So hoping to just see that continue. And I'm obviously not the only one who's doing this. There's a lot of other individuals in the community that are doing that, which is great to see.
And I think that's a really cool opportunity as well, though, to be getting into the schools, showing the people that are teaching the kids, and then being able to spread it out from there. It takes a lot of people to do this. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of people in the Valley. So I'm grateful for that. I would have never found lacrosse if it weren't for them being here. And again, that's 20 years ago. But we want to make sure that people are able to grow the game and share the game. What are your goals surrounding lacrosse right now, or around life right now, and when you think about how this game's impacted you?
So, one of the things, obviously, it's always about giving back to the game. I've been fortunate enough to travel around the country and the world because of this game. I've met some of the biggest names in the game because of it. And so it's really about giving back. I recently got my certification for coach education training, so we can help host some more of these events here locally to help, especially, parents that want to get involved that don't know anything about the game. Let's give them that information so they can help teach responsibly, like we talked about previously. So that's been a big part of it, is really trying to help out. Obviously, helping out the local high school team that I'm coaching. We're working to push to, teach our kids how to play the game the right way. And then, helping get some of these kids recruited. Some of these kids have really fallen in love with the game, and really working with them to find what's that next level that they want to go to kind of support their dreams. And no matter what level it's at, or even if they don't want to play again. I've been fortunate enough to coach both the boys and girls side of the game. I had a player when I was in Texas. Her goal was to play D1 lacrosse, and we got her there because she was an incredibly hard worker and she earned it. And after her first year, she really didn't like it, and she called me crying because she didn't didn't want to do it anymore. And she said that she let me down. And I had to make sure to let them know that you didn't let me down. This was about your dream, and I'm helping support that. If you don't want to, play the game at that level, that's fine. So it's really helping to support those individuals, no matter what their choice is, because there are some, kids that are incredibly talented at the game, but maybe they don't want to pursue that afterwards, but they want to, support something else, whether it's, going on to a career. So it's, how do I connect you in with somebody that might be in that career field that you want to be in? So really it's just supporting them, whatever they want to do, and making sure that they know that I appreciate everything that they do, especially on the field, and then support them off the field as well.
That network that you ultimately get from lacrosse, whether it's with a coach or a player, or it's someone that you just found on LinkedIn that happened to say they play lacrosse, it's an instant bond when we get connected. And there have been so many conversations I'm sure you've had, I've had, I know so many people that were able to connect and make sure that people are able to grow and learn from one another. And that's what I see this is as well. It's how can we speak with people that have been successful, have lacrosse in their lives, and just let them share their stories and their goals. And Nate, I'm so glad that you're a part of what we're up to, and that you're just supportive of lacrosse as a whole, because I mean, that just shows how much you care about the game and the sport. What would you say is the biggest impact lacrosse has had on your life?
Well, I mean, meeting my wife. My wife was actually an incredible lacrosse player. She was an All-American goaltender. And so really the way we met, we were at a big group event, and she had her lacrosse stick and I had mine. And so we just started playing catch, and that's how we met. And, the rest is history. So I'd have to say that's probably the best thing that lacrosse has given me, for sure.
That is so cool. I'm glad I got to hear that answer, and I'm so glad for you guys and the family that you have as well, especially since it's all lacrosse related. I know we only have a few minutes left, Nate. I would like to ask, though, going into the eyes of the youth wanting to play at that next level, whether it's college or if they want to play on a national team, how does that process look like, or how can people do more research to make sure that they have those opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, so the big thing is obviously, it's what you're doing outside of, the mandatory stuff. If you look at any of the people that have been really successful playing at the highest level of the game, they're not just going to their 2-hour practice each day and calling it good. They're putting in that extra work to get where they want to be. So, while practices are great, it's getting out there, doing wall ball, playing catch, just having a stick in your hand, playing backyard lacrosse, where it's unstructured, just making sure that, you're really, keeping that stick in your hand and enjoying it. And then obviously the physical conditioning, taking care of yourself. And then really, if you're looking to play at the next level, it's about your grades. If you're not taking care of it in the classroom, it really doesn't matter how great you are, athletically. So, I mean, most of the time when you're talking to these coaches, the first thing they ask is, how are the grades? And that's incredibly important. And then the next thing is, how's your attitude? So whenever we go anywhere, we really talk about representing, the crest that's on your jersey. And, that really determines, how successful you're going to be. And it's not just when you're playing. I mean, when you're playing, if someone slams a stick on the ground after they make a mistake and they don't hustle after the ground ball, that tells you a lot. But then it's the stuff when you're visiting in the vendor village. If you're out there going there and you're swearing and running your mouth and, acting dumb, those coaches are going to see that. And they're going to make an idea of who you are as a person. So it's important to make sure that you're putting, your best foot forward and representing yourself the way that you'd want to be represented. So I think that that's incredibly important. As far as getting those other opportunities, I think it's searching them out and really trying to find where's the best place to put yourself in position to be successful. So whether it's on a club program or going to a camp or all those type of things, making sure that you're really being careful and going out and looking to find the right ones and making sure that you're part of the right group that's really going to put you in a position to be successful.
I think that personal accountability is such a big part of it. Whether you're on the field or off the field, you have to hold yourself to that high standard. Your brand goes everywhere, and then you have to look for those opportunities yourself. And I'd be remorseful if I didn't ask this. can you tell everyone your involvement with the ASU Women's Lacrosse team? Since I know we've got a lot of Devils that are watching, we need to make sure that everyone knows your involvement there so we can support.
Yeah, so in my position, I work for the Sun Devil Club. So we're responsible for receiving philanthropic gifts to support the mission of Sun Devil Athletics. I have a number of teams that I work with, lacrosse being one of them, because obviously it's a natural tie-in for me to be with them. So I'm very lucky to work with Coach McCormick, and you've had Coach Graz on recently. And really helping them just support their mission and vision of what they're trying to build for that program. So I've been incredibly grateful that I've gotten an opportunity to talk with them, work with them, understand what they're trying to build there and what they're trying to build back in the community. So that's really my role. I have nothing to do with coaching or recruiting or anything like that. It's just really helping support from the financial end of what they're trying to achieve, along with some of our other great Sun Devil athletic programs.
Well, hopefully we can get more support for the Women Devils, because they're up to a lot of great things, and I love that they're giving back to the game. Nicole said it a few times. We're trying to create a hotbed for lacrosse in Arizona, and it starts with us all working together and linking up arm by arm.
Yep, and they live and breathe that. Every time you talk to them, it's all about the community and getting people to come out to the games just to watch. I mean, the games are free to come to, so it's a great opportunity. Whether you're a guy playing, I've told our boys, I was like, hey, you should come and watch. And it's girls lacrosse. I'm like, yeah, trust me, you're gonna go learn something. Anytime you're watching the game, you can find something to learn. And the women's game is incredible to watch. After coaching it, I fell in love with that game as well. So I'm trying to bring some more of them over to watch that, because it is a great game, and there's no better ambassador than Tim and Graz and Dor out in the community.
Awesome. Well, Nate, thanks again for being a part of this conversation. Is there anything that we can do to support you and the goals that you have right now?
I think anything we do to spread the love for the game, and any opportunity we can get a stick in someone's hand, no matter what age, I think is great. I know there's a lot of different groups, doing volunteer work of going into the schools. If anyone has some free time to connect in with any of those clubs or organizations, make sure you do it. If you're interested in coaching, check out the coaching education certification through US Lacrosse. Contact the AYL. I believe Bill Lynch is the president there. Contact him. Tell him that you're interested. At the ALL for the high school league, Dan Lannon. Reach out to someone, any of us. If you want to get involved, we'll find a way to get you involved, and hopefully we can get you to love this game like the rest of us do.
Awesome, Nate. Well, thank you again for being part of this. Good luck with the rest of your day. I know we'll be in touch. We'll continue to work hard and spread the love for such a wonderful sport.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ryan.